Hi there VC, it's Steve Whitty here, and usually I'm doing a video on a Wednesday. Hope everyone's well. Been a bit hectic. This is the third attempt at doing this video, so hopefully third time lucky. On Sunday, after I'd done my video, I spent a lot of the day, because the weather was foul, listening to music, but also having a catch up on VC videos, and particularly Richard McCook's videos. I hadn't seen him for a while. And one of the videos he'd done was a thing called 10 over 10, which he listed his favourite tracks that were over 10 minutes long. And never want to steal a good idea. I thought I'd do the same sort of response. So here goes. From Medal, Pink Floyd, Echoes. This is track, if I remember rightly, it's all of side 2 of the album, and it's a beautiful track, sort of like indicating the sort of direction that the band were going through, sort of harmonies and the interplay between David Gilmour and Richard Wright. It's just a masterful piece of work, one of my favourite Pink Floyd tracks, and they still performed it while David Gilmour was touring on an island. And I think one of the saddest things I saw when, a week after Richard Wright died, David Gilmour appeared on later with Jules Holland. He was promoting his new album, and they played a clip of the pair of them doing Echoes, I think from Pompeii. And he just sadly looked at it and said, I didn't realise I can never be able to perform that song again. So it's just a great song. Next up, now, you know I'm a big fan of Rush. I've mentioned it before. And Kelsey, they did a few songs that were over 10 minutes. The one I've included as one of my favourite, I've chosen Xanadu from A Farewell to Kings. That comes in, it's track 2 on side 1. It comes in at 11 minutes and 6 seconds. And for those who don't know, it's basically sort of rewriting Coleridge's Kubla Khan. And it's a sort of musical version of it. Sort of highlighted. It was like the band brought in synthesizers, Neil Peart to expand his drum kit to include tubular bells and other percussive instruments. It's a very sort of slow building piece that has a quick ending, middle to it. One of my favourite Rush tracks. I was, one of the pleased to see them perform this. That's Xanadu. Here's where I might be bending the rules a little bit. I have chosen as one of my favourites. It's from Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Elton John. It's Funeral for a Friend, / Love Lies Bleeding. Now, you could say that's on the actual album. On the cover, it's mentioned as 2 separate tracks, the colour of the... however, when you look on the label, it's basically track 1. That, combine them together, that takes it over 10 minutes. I have got a 12-inch, I think, somewhere. I wonder if I still got it, which indicates it's over 10 minutes. It's just a masterful opening to a masterpiece of an album, a double album. How it slowly builds up the piano and the keyboards, and then it builds up right to the guitar, and it's absolutely wonderful. Really wonderful opening. And yes, I'm going to class it as one track. My video, my rules. Richard mentioned in his video about Genesis and Supper's Ready. He didn't include it, but he mentioned it. I'm going to include it. That's one of my favourites. And I've got here Foxtrot. There's also a version that's on Seconds Out. However, both of them are not my favourite version. If you can get hold of Archives 1 in Genesis, which featured sort of like live tracks from the Gabriel period. There is, I think it was on the Selling England by the Pound tour, a live version of Supper's Ready. And what makes it special to me is obviously it's the classic lineup for most people performing it, but it's also like the interplay between Phil Collins and Peter Gabriel. To give it a hint, Peter Gabriel will always do have these long introductions, and he's doing this thing for Supper's Ready. And there's this bit where Phil Collins is supposed to come in, but Phil Collins obviously was not paying attention, was diverted. And there's an awkward silence, and then Peter Gabriel goes, "Phil," and it's like Phil Collins having to go, "Oh, I'm sorry, man, I wasn't paying attention." But it just added to the charm of it, and it's probably the best version of it, sound-wise. But on the same ilk, Marillion, when they first came out, were accused of sounding very much like the Gabriel era Genesis. Now, this is their debut single, Market Square Heroes. That ain't over 10 minutes long. But side 2, there's a track called Grendel, which was a staple of their early live shows. That comes in at 17 minutes 40 seconds. And it's all based on what's considered to be the first book of English literature, Beowulf. And the band was smart enough, actually. I never saw them perform this live. In fact, they stopped performing this live as soon as they got a record deal and got an album out. Pretty much stopped performing it. And I think they haven't performed it since about 1982, 1983. But it's still a great track. It was, the best thing on this 12-inch single. Never released on an album. Moving tact slightly. Next one I've gone for is Kraftwerk Autobahn. The title track takes the whole of side 1, 22 minutes and 30 seconds long. It also, a bridge version, provided a hit single for them in the US and the UK. Sort of groundbreaking album for many, influenced a lot of people. What I love about it, it just feels like you're in a car journey for 20 minutes. So atmospheric, that's the word I was looking for. But it's still brilliant all the same for it. So there you go. That's Kraftwerk Autobahn. Something totally different. Velvet Underground from White Light, White Heat. It's Sister Ray, which is the closing track on side 2. And it comes in at 17 minutes. What can I say about it? It's a lovely cacophony of noise. And well, all I can get out of it, there's a lot of oral sex going on in there. But it's just absolutely brilliant. Absolutely, just holds it together. This is absolutely brilliant album. In many ways, I prefer this to the debut album. This album, but yeah. So great track, Sister Ray. Again, changing tact. I've gone Neil Young and Crazy Us from Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere. And the track I have gone for is Cowgirl and Sand, which at 10 minutes and 3 seconds just slips in to the top 10. I've recently picked up this album, and it's just a standout track. If Down by the River could have been extended to another 50 seconds, that would have been in the list instead. But Cowgirl and Sand makes a great substitute. It's a great song. It's a great album. And as it's all been rock, I have got a couple that's slightly different. Now, this album, I could have chosen one or two tracks here from Hot Butt Soul. So you've got on side 1, Walk On By, 12 minutes. And then probably the one I would say I'd go for side 2, 18 minutes and 40 seconds by the time I get to Phoenix. And this is where Isaac Hayes is just, most of it's telling a story about a man who's been wronged and he keeps going back. But his woman's wronging him and he keeps going back. What an idiot! And he finally gets the courage to go, and then it just leads into, by the time I get to Phoenix. There is only 4 tracks on the album. In fact, the second track on side 1, And I'm just going to show you the name of it. I can't be bothered to. Excuse the glare up. Can I get it in? Yeah. That's 9 minutes 38. Yeah, that's good. And then to end, an absolute masterpiece from Temptations, from All Directions, absolute classic. Papa Was a Rolling Stone, and if I get it the right way, that comes in at 11 minutes 45 seconds. Obviously, big single when it was abridged. The single became was a big hit both in the UK and the US. Any Norman Whitfield Temptations production at that time is worth checking out. This said band. So there you go, Richard. I hope you like my 10 choices. If I can sort out this iPad and add a link onto it, I'll link Richard's video. So actually interesting subject. It's a lot harder than you think because there ain't that many songs that are over 10 minutes and you think about it, and then finding some songs that are half decent because, you know, I've avoided live versions of stuff. That would have been too easy. But yeah, there we go. So if you have stumbled across this channel for the first time and you like what you see, click on the subscribe button. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Love the interaction, and feel free to leave a comment because I do try and get back to you. So enjoy the rest of your week, VC. Sunday's video, and there will be a video Sunday, is going to be about the VC meetup, and I've got some VCLT to show you then. So until then, whatever you do, get up to, take care of yourselves, keep spinning, and more importantly, keep smiling.